So of course our first word should be, what are natural resources, right? What are natural resources? Well, it's really two parts we have to think about, right? Natural. Natural, things that come from nature. If they come from nature, they are natural. Then we have resource. A resource is something that we use. So we put these two words together and we have natural resource. It comes from nature and we use it. So it is a natural resource. And there are many types of natural resources. In fact, we have a video showing many different types of natural resources that you can see. Here is one very important natural resource, and that's oil, right? But we can see many other types of natural resources too. Sunlight is a natural resource. We use that as solar energy. So also wind energy. We use trees for wood, to get wood from. So there are many different types of natural resources that we get from nature. Let's look at what we should do with these things. Now, when we talk about natural resources, we have to understand that in some cases there are not an infinite amount of resources. That means there's not an unlimited supply. We can't use the natural resources very greedily. We can't be greedy. We have to be careful how we use some natural resources, like water or wood or even land. The air. We have to be careful how we use these things or what we put into those places. We have to think about the 3 R's. The first R is reduce. Reduce means to use less of something. So our first R is reduce. That means don't waste things, right? Basically, you could say don't waste our resources. Don't waste things. Don't waste resources. If you're not using the water the whole time you're washing your hands, right? Get your hands wet, turn off the water. Wash your hands, turn the water back on, and then rinse them. Don't waste water. Don't waste other things. Reduce the amount that you use. Only use what you need. Don't waste. The other R is reuse. Reuse. If we can use something again, that's better than getting a new thing and using it, because that's kind of wasting too, isn't it? Reuse means to use again. Sometimes means again. Not always, but sometimes it means to do something again. So use again. Use again. To use something again. So if you have a jar, right, you've used it as packaging for your jam or your jellies or something that was in the jar, maybe instead of throwing away the jar and buying a vase, use the jar as a vase and grow a plant from it. That's a good idea, to reuse something. Our third R is recycle. So we had reduce, reuse, recycle. Those are the 3 R's that are very, that's an apostrophe. The 3 R's that are very important to helping save our environment and making the earth a better place for all of us to live in. Concentrate on the 3 R's. The third R is recycle. Re in this case means again too, because you're cycling something again. You're making something new from something old. You're throwing away your old plastic bottles in a bin. They will go back to the factory. They will be broken down and made into something new. It's kind of a cycle for making new products. So you're using it again. So remember the 3 R's: reduce, reuse, and recycle. Those things are very important to help protect our environment and make our world a cleaner and healthier place to live. And of course, it means we will have more natural resources to use for a longer time. We won't waste these things. Okay, well, let's talk about what are some types of natural resources. Paper is a resource, right? It's a material that is used for making books and papers. Of course, paper really isn't a natural resource. Wood is a natural resource, but we make paper from wood. So paper, of course, is a material. We use it For newspapers, that's very common, and we also use it for books. Now, when you think about it, newspapers does seem kind of wasteful, doesn't it? Because we only read the newspaper one day, and then we throw it away. So it's important to reuse or recycle newspapers. When you're through with the newspaper, you can use it for some other purpose, maybe as wrapping paper, maybe as insulation in something, or maybe you want to wallpaper a room with it. That would be a nice decoration. Or you could recycle it, gather it together instead of throwing it together with your other garbage. Put it in a bin so that it's taken back to a factory where they can make new paper from the old paper. So that's very important. It's very important to use paper wisely. Also, we have metal. Metal is not really a natural resource. We get it from nature. We get it from ore. We melt it down and we make metal from it. Metal is a hard and shiny material found in nature. The main thing about metal is that it's hard, it's tough, right? So if we put something in a metal canister, it protects whatever we have inside. That's very important. It's hard and it's shiny. That's just another quality of the metal. But we use metal for many things, especially tuna cans, right? Soda pop cans, and other cans that we store or sell things in, like coffee, ground coffee, stuff like that. But metal is a very good thing that we use in order to package food and to contain many types of things. Okay, another thing is glass. We can see many examples of using glass. Glass is a material that is used for making windows, bottles, and cups. And of course with glass is very hard and it lasts for a long time. We have to be careful with it, right? If we drop it, psh, it'll shatter, and that's very dangerous. Don't pick up that glass. Glass that has just been broken can be very, very sharp, so be very careful with glass. But glass can last for a long time, which means if you use something, you can use it again and again and again, right? If you have an old wine bottle, you can store water in it, right? And use it for water, put it in your refrigerator. The glass makes it nice and cool. It stays cool in a glass container. So you can reuse glass. Of course, you can also recycle glass. By the way, it's an interesting fact. Most of glass is made from sand. If sand is heated up really, really hot, then it forms glass. Sometimes lightning will come down and hit a beach or a desert where there's just sand, and it will turn the sand from that heat. You'll see pieces of glass, or it'll turn into glass on the sand. So sand, the thing in sand is used to make glass. It's a very interesting fact about glass. But glass comes from a natural resource, sand. Okay. Also, we have plastic. What does plastic come from? How do we make plastic? Well, plastic is made from oil. We use oil to make plastic. Plastic, of course, is a light and strong material made by people. And of course, plastic is very, very useful. It's easier to transport than glass because we don't have to worry if we drop it, it won't break like glass. It's lighter than metal, but it can be very strong like metal too. So plastic is a very important invention, a very important discovery. Of course, it is made from oil, and it's a certain type of process that we use to make plastic. But as you can see, plastic is used for so many things, from water bottles to toys to chairs to all sorts of things that you can find in your home, in your car, in your school. We use plastic for a wide variety of things. But again, we shouldn't waste plastic. We should reuse it, we should recycle it, and we should reduce the amount of plastic that we use.
Lesson 14. Our resources. Natural resource. Things that come from nature that people use. Reduce. To use less of something. Reuse. To use something again. Recycle. To make something new from something old. Paper. A material that is used for making books and newspapers. Metal. A hard and shiny material found in nature. Glass. A material that is used for making windows, bottles, and cups. Plastic. A light and strong material made by people.